The question is, how many homes do we have now, and what do we want to do next? Do we want to build more homes? Do we have the land to do that? Well, to answer your question, we have 4 circles of homes. The first circle has 10 houses. The others all have 8. So that's, how many, Gary? You're the math teacher, right? We have, I think, about 34 homes, because we have another house where the senior girls are at right now. And we're just about to finish circle 4, so there's one more place there. And we do have land to build more houses, but right now our emphasis is on building a new school block. So if there are those that would really like to invest and help out, our vision is to build a school block, because you have to balance the number of houses with how the school expands at the same time. We want to be able to provide a higher education for the students right there at Otino Waa. We also want to build a meeting place, because right now we've outgrown all of our areas where the kids meet. So someplace where we can do Sunday school, someplace where we can even train the community, whether it's pastors or leaders that come in, as well as student assemblies and those kind of things. So I would say that we have more room to build houses, but our focus, or our goal right now, is to build a school block and to build an amphitheater or meeting place for the kids.
So I think you did hit on the discussion that we've been having this week with our board of directors that is here in Bend. What is next for Otino Waa? Certainly at some point we will grow out of the land. At some point Otino Waa will be full, but we're never going to run out of resources of children and widows that need help in Uganda. So we're just going to ask the Lord, Lord, what's next? What do you have for us next? What would you like us to continue to do to impact the nations for you?
How are kids assisted as they transition out of Otino Waa was the question. What kind of resources do they have? Well, right now we have a scholarship program. In 2012, which was the first year that kids went through the senior school, there was a graduating class of 10. 9 of those went on scholarship. This last year, out of a class of 14, 13 went on scholarship. When they go on scholarship, we also pay for their living expenses, which are quite minimal, but that's part of their scholarship package. So they come out of Otino Waa, and for 2 years, whether they choose to go to nursing school or they go on to A-level, we help them through that process. And during that time, they're getting used to things that are outside of Otino Waa and life outside of Otino Waa. So that's really been the process. And we hope to continue to have stories like Boniface that decide to come back and work at Otino Waa, because those that have grown up there, those that are invested in Otino Waa, will be our best candidates and hope for the future of our leaders within Otino Waa as well as within the community. We also have kids that end up working in the cafe and make that their career. The question is, how do we balance the need in Uganda without going there to revolutionize or change the culture and make it an American culture?
We have 85 staff that are Ugandan. Rory and I are the only Westerners on staff. And two of our staff members have been with Otino Waa since the beginning. One is Reverend Deacons and one is Pastor Douglas. And they are kind of our resounding yes or no that this is appropriate culturally. We're not there to change the culture of Uganda, but to just stand alongside them and biblically enhance the culture of Uganda and lovingly enhance it and to be alongside of them. But really, the lasting thing is that that is Uganda, and it remains Uganda, and we're equipping and discipling kids to stay in Uganda and to be able to lead the nation.
As an example of not changing the culture, we get together every week as a central staff, which includes the clinical officer, the headmaster of primary school, headmaster of secondary school, Reverend Deacons, who's the administrator, Pastor Douglas, so a group of people, and they each give an update on what's going on in their particular area, and then the group speaks into that. We don't say, okay, you need to do this or you need to do that. We allow them to solve the problem and what's culturally the best way to handle this, because I think we could be there for an awful long time and still not truly understand the culture. And just as an interesting example of that, one day at church we were scratching our heads as a couple got up and gave their testimony of how their marriage had been restored. And the issue was that the man came home one day and saw a strange chicken walking around in the yard. So he figured that his wife must be having an affair. But they finally figured out that that wasn't the case, and they were so happy they restored their marriage. So there's just things that leave you scratching your head, and you realize, I may never understand what's going on here.